Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. Hope you're having a good week. It's been kind of a gray week up here in southwest Pennsylvania. A lot of clouds, occasional snow flurries, pretty cold temperatures. It's enough to make you kind of dreary and weary at the same time. And so I'd like to share a passage with you this morning that'll maybe pick you up a little bit. From the 30th Psalm, we find these words. Hear me, O Lord, and have mercy on me. Help me, O Lord. You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You've taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy, that I might sing praises to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever. You've heard me talk about God being anxious to show us his concern and his care. And you've heard me talk about how we can call on God and know that he's there. And the Psalms and the Bible is full of various passages that say exactly that. Now, why is that? I mean, this is another one. He starts out by saying, Hear me, O Lord, and have mercy on me. Help me, O Lord. Why does the Bible say so many times that God is right beside us, or that God hears us, or that God cares for us, or that God thinks about us? Why is that so important among all the other things that could be said? Well, part of the answer is found here. Hear me, Lord, and have mercy on me. Mercy is the unmerited grace that's given to someone who deserves punishment. Now, I'm not suggesting you deserve punishment, that you're some terrible person or that I am. You might feel that way, and maybe some of you all really are who are listening to me, but I don't know that. I'm not suggesting that at all. But mercy is giving us grace when we deserve something other than that. And when you look at the relationship between God and man, it starts out in the garden. And it starts out in this beautiful, uninterrupted access and crazy close fellowship between the Creator and his created experience, man. And it's as though God, well, he really enjoys that. If we can put human emotions on God, he seems to want to have a relationship with man. In fact, if you look at history, the Old Testament history, he went to a lot of trouble to keep that up. Much earlier, he could have just destroyed the world and said, forget it, I'll do something else. But he didn't. He could have given up on you or me. I certainly have given him reason to do that. Probably you have. But the psalmist says, Hear me, Lord, and have mercy on me. Give me something other than what I deserve. And he says, Help me, O Lord. Here you have the words of a person, the psalmist, who desperately wants the presence of God in his life. And he understands that he doesn't deserve it, but he's asking for it anyway. You see, when we're little kids and we mess up and do things that are wrong, it's our parents' jobs to, to guide us. Now, when a parent consistently doesn't give guidance, you wind up with a kid who grows up into an adult who has no discipline at all and who constantly gets into trouble. Well, you might have one that gets disciplined and does that too, but at least the parents are trying to show compassion in a form that will make the person better. And that's what God does for us. He wants us to do better than we've ever done before. I was talking to a couple recently about marriage, and I said, I hope you have a really, really happy marriage because that's what God wants for you. And so it goes on to say here, evidently God answers the psalmist here and grants his request because the psalmist then says, you've turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You've taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy. Have you been clothed with joy? Do you experience joy in your life? Oh, I don't mean the absence of feeling disgusted. I mean real joy, real happiness, happiness that shouts to the world, that laughs in the midst of anything and just expresses exuberance of all kinds of good vibes, as they say, to the people they meet. I mean, you can tell who's joyful and who isn't. It's obvious. And God wants us to be joyful. The psalmist says that you swapped my mourning clothes for joyful clothes. You've already done that. God has already, through the sacrifice of Jesus, provided the way for you and I to experience joy. Not the absence of problems, but joy in spite of all of that. And so this little section ends by the psalmist saying, you clothe me with joy that I might sing praises to you and not be silent, O Lord my God. I will give you thanks forever. There's nothing that can keep this psalmist from thanking God. He understands the depth of the gift of mercy. He understands the meaning of deserving something awful, but getting something wonderful in return. And he recognizes it's God who has done that for him. So I'd like to get you to think about your own life today. Have you experienced this swapping of judgment for mercy? Have you experienced the wonderfulness of joy in all situations? Well, you can, because God wants you to. That's what he wants for you. And we will give thanks, the psalmist says. I'll give thanks to him forever. A thankful heart changes a bitter attitude very quickly. So I hope today you see Jesus in a new and wonderful way. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you have any needs or you have any prayer requests, let us know. We'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Well, thanks for listening. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.